Hi, I'm Debbie from Simply Special Crafts. Today we're going to continue our series on the birth flowers of Britain. Today we're going to talk about the February kit, which is violets. At the conclusion of this video, if you're enjoying yourself and you like what you see, please give us a thumbs up so that we know that you're enjoying these videos. And feel free to drop me a comment. I answer all comments on our comment section personally. So let's go ahead and get started. Maybe it's because I'm a February baby, but I'm particularly fond of these violets. It's also possible that I love them because they're purple, and purple's my color. But anyway, they're quite beautiful. Get the beautiful violet information here, the common field name and other things. With love always, a little note to wish you well. This is a beautiful frame around this one. I like that image. We're going to do something extra special with this one. And we've got this pretty image also. We're going to make 3 cards, but I think you can see here that we could easily make 4 if we chose to do that. Here is the coordinated foiled paper. Now you can see that the foiling on this one's a little bit lighter, but it's still quite beautiful. I love this gold edge, and then it just has a little dotted edge around the inside here. But I think that's really pretty cardstock. We've got this with 2 borders on it, which I think is particularly nice. When I see ribbons on something like this, I have almost a need to cover that with real ribbon, and of course we'll be doing that. And here's the inserts. Now, these are the 2 inserts for the birth month of February set, but as I indicated to you in the January video, there's a mistake that we found in all of the insert packs for these, where they gave us 2 of these and only 1 January, which works out really well for the card designs I'm going to show you, because I really, really like these 2 inserts and the way we're going to use them. We're going to make 3 cards today, although I have 2 card bases here. I'm going to need 1 more, Lauren, please. We're going to make a 5x7. We're going to make 2 European A6s, which, as you know from... Oh, there's 2 here, Lauren. I'm sorry. As you know from our videos, a European A6 is roughly 4x6. This one's 4 1/4 by 5 7/8. So very close to 4x6. Somewhere around there's what you'll find in an A6. These are a perfect size because this one is exactly 1/4 of an adorable scoreable sheet, which makes it really, really nice for card facing. So let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to start with this shaker card, and I know that we've made a few shaker cards on camera recently, so I'm going to move fairly quickly through this. If you need to, you can always pause and back up and take a look at things again, or you can take a look at one of our other videos where we've done these recently. But today, shaker card. This just lends itself particularly well to the shaker with those flowers and letting the little golds, or excuse me, the little purple sequins kind of dance around in there. Okay, folding down on the score line, we're going to cover this in this card. But before we do, I want to wrap our ribbon around it. So I'm not going to use my traditional means of covering my card. I'm actually going to cut this to 5x7 to start with, so that I can wrap my ribbon around it before I put it on my card. That's the only reason I'm going to measure it and cut it first. Okay, this should be a perfect fit, and it is. Just cut it to 5x7. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap my ribbon around it. The ribbon I'm using for this project today is the Hyacinth Satin. We have a few lavender colors that would look nice, but this happens to be the one that I'm using today is the Hyacinth. I'm excited to tell you that we have some new ribbons coming in. We're going to have some new colors, and the new ribbons, well, we may not have all the same colors, so I may have to continue to carry a few of these on the little styrofoam spools. But the new ribbons actually are on a reel, So I'm really excited about the fact that we're going to be able to offer traditional reels with our low-cost ribbons as opposed to having all of our ribbons on these styrofoam spools, which are kind of a pain. As I indicated in my last video, when I empty another spool, I always rewind these styrofoam spools onto that used spool so that I can get a better spooling with it. Okay, I'm just placing my ribbon on top here. That's not my card tearing, that's just I very lightly laid down my ribbon, so it's a little bit movable here. And you may not be able to see it on camera, but I can actually slightly see through this to try and get a good alignment on this ribbon. I can actually see where I am in the pattern. So I just wanted to wrap that ribbon that way because I think that looks really pretty over that paper.
And
ribbon.
You used your regular easy tear tape?
I just used my regular easy tear tape. As you can hear, Lauren's with us today. Say hi, Lauren.
Hi.
Thank you for asking the question. That's good. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put this down on our card. Now, because I am going to try and match this exactly, if you get any little bubbles in there, just rub that down really well. And you can mostly make that lay down and behave. We're going to use our tape flag since we're looking for a perfect alignment on this card against the card base, the front against the card base. And as you recall, when we do that, we're going to put our tape down as normal. I'm just going to put 2 rows of tape since I'm going to try to align it. And I'm going to put little flags out to the sides. That allows me to do some matching against my card, get everything right where I want it, and make sure that everything is perfectly aligned. And when I like it, I'll tap these into place where the adhesive is. Then I'm going to lay it down, make sure it's still aligned where I want it, and then I'm going to pull those flags. And that's going to leave me with my card face perfectly aligned to my cardstock. See there? Okay. Next, I actually put this different than this one, but it really won't matter. It'll be pretty either way. I'm going to next punch out my image here. And this is a perfect one for a shaker card because, again, I have a 2-part frame. Hunkydory cards are especially easy for shaker cards because they already do pre-cut so many of the frames. And the very first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to put my window in. Lauren, while I'm putting my window in, would you get that embossing magic pillow, please? I think it's on the table over there. And one of the things that one of our customers mentioned when she saw my demonstration of using the embossing pillow to take the static off the window, she recommended that another way of doing that is to use a used dryer sheet to remove the static from your window. Oops. Lauren caught it with her foot. Is it still in frame?
Yep.
Okay. As long as I'm not talking to you and looking at the ceiling, that would be. But she mentioned the used dryer sheet. Now, I have not personally tried that, but I have heard that before, so I believe that probably does work well, and you wouldn't have to invest in an embossing pillow for this purpose. So that's a nice tip, and I always appreciate it when you guys share your tips and techniques with us so I can pass those on to other crafters. That's really kind of what it's all about, isn't it? When we're all kind of a crafting community and we share ideas and things with one another. I love that. I love it when people tell me there's a different and better way. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fasten my acetate to the back of this card, or to the back of this frame. I'm going to quickly, this will be a really easy cutting job with this one because it's nice and straight. I think, yeah, I only had one clip to do and it's faced. That's good, I like that. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my shaker tape to this frame. I like, for making a card when I'm using cup sequins like we are today, which are a little bit thicker, be sure you either use 2 layers of your 2mm tape or use a 3mm tape. If I were using a 2, I would simply peel the first layer and then stack another layer right on top of it. Because you have to have enough area inside our card to let those little sequins move. And even the 3mm will be a little tight. It works and it's fine, but even the 3mm can be a little tight. So a double layer of 2mm is essential if you want to fill it with sequins. Now you'll notice that I always talk about tearing your easy tear tape, but I am not tearing my foam tape. The reason for that is we learned in one of our classes, everybody's card leaked, including mine, and the sequins were falling all over the place, and we realized that if you tear this, you're stretching this out of shape, and then it doesn't bond and you don't get a consistent level across your entire card. And that caused us to have gaps, and the sequins and filler were escaping through the gaps. So trust me when I say you don't tear this tape, you clip it so that you keep it nice and uniform. And then you shouldn't have any trouble with leaking. But I'm going to make sure I've got a good tight seal all the way around. Now I'm going to take that embossing pillow and I'm going to go in and I'm going to tap this. Now again, my friend Margie recommended that we make sure that we use the embossing pillow after we have put the shaker tape on, because that's going to kind of deactivate some of the sticky on the inside edge of that tape too, because we don't want this to be sticky or my components are going to stick over there. Now when we've done this properly, I hope you can see that on camera, it's really foggy. Can you see that? Yeah, I got powder all over there. Now I don't want you to worry about your card looking cloudy. It's not going to. What's going to happen is that when we put our components inside of here, the shaking and the movement of those is going to knock that powder right off of the clear spot, but it's going to retain some of the anti-stick from that powder. So I'm going to go ahead next and I'm going to tack this down to my card. And when I do that, I'm not actually going to center it. I'm going to go a little high of center because I have both a bow and a greeting that I want to go in on the bottom of this card. So I'm going to set this about, maybe I'm going to center it this way. And I'm going to come down about, in total, maybe an inch, because I have to allow my frame some room, of course. Once I've got this on here, then I'm going to open it up because I don't want it to be moving around once I put my shaker components on. And I'm going to get some of these pretty sequins. Hopefully I can manage to do that without making the mess I made the other night when I knocked this whole box on the floor during one of my classes. They went everywhere. It looked like sequin wars had happened. But I still had some left, fortunately, for a project today, so I'm glad about that anyway. I'm going to grab some of these, and I'm going to get some of these little iridescent ones and toss in there just for interest. Maybe a couple little lighter flakes as well. I'll just empty that little compartment there. And just get some, oh, I like those lighter ones. I'm going to put a couple more of those in there because that matches our ribbon well. Okay, you really want about maybe, I'm going to say a half a teaspoon. You want to resist the temptation to overfill it, because if you overfill it, things aren't going to move around nicely. And of course, you don't want it to be too sparse either, because you want to have enough fun stuff in there that you get some movement. But don't overfill it. We're going to peel this shaker tape. It's just called shaker tape because it's often used for shaker cards. It's about 1/4 of an inch thick or wide, and this particular one is 3 millimeters deep. We have 2 millimeter and 3 millimeter in the store. I think we have some packs that are mixed with both, and now I think we have some new packs that are coming in, if they're not in already, that are just one width or the other. The 2 millimeter is fine if you're using confetti, which is absolutely flat. Then your 2 millimeter will work just fine. Now look, we got that beautiful movement in there. I love that. And we've got just the right colors. That looks beautiful. Okay, we have 2 steps left to go on the outside of this card. And then my frame is off just a tad, but I think we're going to leave it alone. It's one of those that's so close that moving it would probably be more problematic than not. Okay, we need our little greeting for the bottom, and we're going to use a little note to wish you well on this one. Wouldn't this just perk up somebody's day if you sent them a get well card with all these little sequins moving around in it? I think it would. It would perk me up if that happened. Okay. There's Amy making her voice known again. Now she's outside the shop thinking she needs in. There's no pleasing an old dog. Lauren says, yeah, I know, I live with my mother. Oh, I'm just kidding. My daughter doesn't call me a dog. That I know of. Kids. Okay. Oops, kids and pets. My life. My life story. I like my life though. I'm very happy with it. Okay, last thing we have to do on the outside here is our bow. I have not pre-tied this one, so I might as well tie it on camera since I'm going to tie it anyway. Get myself a little ribbon to work with here. And here we go. I'm going to tie a triple with one wider loop. I'm going to do 5, 1, 5. I told you I'm going fast here. You can look up our bow tying video for more assistance if you like on that. I'm going to loosen this up just a little bit because I need a little longer tail to tie that off. Let's see. I lost track of where I was. 5, 1, 1, 5, 5, down through the hole. And then we're going to come up the other side. And we're going to come through between the 2 number 1s on the little ones. And we're going to tie this off. And as we do so, we're going to make sure that the back side of our ribbon is up towards us, because again, we're working on the back side of the bow maker. So if that's on the back, the pretty side will be to the front. I've pulled it off. I'm stretching out my little loops on my bow. I'm going to take just one moment here, and I'm going to put some tape to hold my bow open like I like it. I'm just going to tape right across those little, I sometimes call them petals, and the bow loops. That didn't stick very well. Let's try that again. Okay, try it again. Come on. Sometimes easy tear is kind of a pain on fabric, but when it gives you a hard time, tear it in the middle and pull it both directions. Go. Let go. There we go. Okay, now I'll stretch my bow back out again because it kind of wiggled a little bit on me there. If I have an overlap in my tape, I just wrap it back on itself. Open this side up just a little bit. I'm going to tape this open too. Now this is a step I probably wouldn't absolutely have to do, because once I put it on my card, especially if I'm putting it on my card with Best Glue Ever, which we're going to do, it would stay where I put it. But between now and the time that it goes on my card, I don't want things shifting around and lose my pretty petals, because they look beautiful right now. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to clip my tails. To do that, I'm going to fold my ribbon so that it's face to face, and then I'm going to clip it upward at an angle towards the end of my ribbon to get that pretty whale tail. Same here, face to face, clip it upward toward the end of my ribbon. That one needs to be trimmed just a little more because it was short on one side. There we go. And now I think I'm going to trim the other side because that side's shorter. Like the spaghetti and sauce conundrum. You fix one, then the other's off. Okay, there we go. Yeah, now I like it. Now, Best Glue Ever. Gotta get a coat of that on there. You know by now from all of my discussions about the Best Glue Ever that we don't use this stuff until it's dry, so I'm going to put it on in a very light coat. My bottles sit open in class a lot of times, so my glue gets a little thick, but I'm going to just put this on very lightly. You can see just a little bit going on there. I don't want a whole lot. I want just tiny amounts. Let's see if you can catch us on camera, Lauren. Can you see that? Just little bits. And we're going to set this aside to dry. And we'll come back to that when it's completely dry. Don't use it until it's clear. That's the real trick to getting the best adhesion. If you try and put it on when it's wet, you will be disappointed in the results. It will not hold at all. Okay, on the inside of this card, we've done something kind of fun. On the inside here, we're going to use one of our insert sheets, and then we're going to put this saying about the violet on the inside, because I just thought that looked beautiful. So let's do that. In order to do that, I know that my card is 5 inches wide, so I'm going to trim my insert sheet down to 10 inches because I want it to be twice the width of a 5-inch card. So this is what I'm going to show you today, is how to get this to be a full insert. I love this trimmer, but it's a little bit hard to read the numbers on this one because unlike the big one, this one does not have an actual ruler. They're printed right into the green plastic. One of our customers solved that by taking a Sharpie marker and rubbing over there and then wiping off the excess so the numbers are now black. I thought that was an inspired way of dealing with that. I've got that now at 10 inches. I'm actually going to take about a 1/4 inch more off because I want a little tiny border inside. Okay, next I'm going to fold my insert sheet in half. And it's going to look an awful lot like it looks when we line our cards normally. I'm going to, sorry guys, gotta get this up where I can see it. Okay, there's my 7. I'm going to be slightly less than 7. So I've cut this roughly 5 by 7 folded. Let's look at this. Let's see, I like the way that looks. That looks really nice. Got a little tiny bit of a border there. I want to look at which direction I'm going because I want this little corner on the bottom. I'm going to put myself a piece of tape right here on this edge. And then I'm going to expose my tape, peel it. I'm going to take my insert. I'm going to put it right into the corner. Hold my card up, get it right in the corner and center it where I want it. And I'm going to close my card. And now I'm going to put a piece of tape on the back here. Okay, I'm going to close it, and when I open it, I have a beautiful insert. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this violet saying. I'm not going to put this up on foam squares because it's on the inside of my card and I don't need that extra bulk inside my card. Put a couple of lines of easy tear tape. And then I'm going to fit this right into this corner because I think it looks beautiful there. There we go. Voila. As soon as our bow's done, our card is done. And isn't that pretty? We'll stick our bow on in a minute here. Card 1 is finished. Let's move to card number 2. Next up, we're going to do this one. Now, had I chosen to do so, I could very easily have used this violet as a topper. I mean, it definitely is large enough, and it's pretty enough to be a standalone topper. I just happen to like the way that looked together. If I wanted to, I have plenty of this cardstock to go around to make that topper on that card. In fact, I could have used this as a card face and still done that similar treatment here, but I didn't. I did something different. So, for this card, I used this piece right here. I could, if I wanted to, go this way, but I chose to go this way because I wanted to bring my ribbon around it. So I'm going to cut myself a piece here. Now I happen to be using a pearlescent card. If you wanted to, you could certainly face this card with the full thing. I have a pearl card behind here, which you don't necessarily need to use. It just happened to be what I had available. I could face this clear out to the edges, and what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to cut this to 4 inches. And then, let's see, 1/4 inch off of 5 7/8 would be 5 5/8. This should theoretically fit just right. We'll see how my math skills are today. Folding it on the score line. See how our match is. Our match is pretty darn good. I think I'm going to take a little bit more off the width, just a tad, just a tiny amount more off. Let's see how this looks now. That's better. That's a little more balanced around. But before I put it down, I'm going to put my bow on. And I happen to have pre-tied a bow. I was playing with some of our new ribbons, so I know I used organza on that one. This time I'm using purple satin, because I was testing it to see how it tied and whether I was going to like the effect of it. And the answer was yes, I do. I think it's really, really pretty ribbon, and I think you'll like it too. Get a nice smooth adhesion of my ribbon on the outside. I've got, this little bow has been tied at 5s. It's a double loop bow, and I've just spread my petals out just a little bit. I'm going to put my February birthday greeting on here, and just because you won't be able to read it from there, I'll say a birthday in February suggests that a person is an abstract thinker, someone who's determined yet humble and always honest and loyal. Lauren's back here rolling her eyes and laughing at me because, while I am in fact honest and loyal, humble is not among my it's not among my traits, so we can determine whether or not we think that that is an accurate statement, but she's rolling her eyes and laughing. She gets that from her daddy. She gets all of her best traits from me, and she gets all of her worst traits from him, and we can see who she acts like. Oh. As you guys know, he's always rolling his eyes at me too. If only we could make the camera backward face sometimes and catch their reactions. You would enjoy that, I think. But nothing doing. These guys tell me they're not going on camera. Now, we have had this discussion before, but let me just reiterate. If the ribbon is really flat, like this satin ribbon, you don't really have to put that up on foam squares. Now, I could if I wanted to. If I like the dimension that I'm already getting from my bow, it's fine to just leave it like that. And actually, I'm pretty pleased with the way this looks overall. So I am not going to put foam squares on the back of here. I'm just going to put down my tape lines and put this right on the face of my card. Now, if you're nervous at all about getting your card face on straight, feel free to use those tape flags, as it's an excellent tool for giving you some time and space to be able to get your topper on without making a commitment to where it's going to go until you see it down flat. And being able to see it down flat and still move it around, because very little of our adhesive is actually touching, only up here in these corners. When I see what I like, I'm going to tap those corners in. I'm going to do any final adjustments here. Then I'm going to set it down, hold it in place, and peel those tape flags. That is just a really, really slick little trick. Okay, next, let's line it, and I believe we used a matching, yeah, we did. We used a matching liner paper. Remember when I said it was a happy accident that they put too many of these in? Well, we're going to take this piece right here, and we're going to go ahead and line our card with it. Now, you should have plenty of liner paper to do 4 cards. If you decide that you want to do 4, you should have plenty of liner paper here to do 4 cards, because there's 3 full sheets of liner. And we used 1 whole sheet on the big card, but you'll have ample if you decide that you want to use them for the other 2. and 3 if you make the extra card. So I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to close it. I'm going to cut around it. And this pretty little card is finished. All done. Simple as that. There's our organza one. There's our satin one. Choose what you like the best or what you have available at home. And now we're going to have some real fun. We are going to paint with glitter. But before we do that, Lauren's over here shaking a bow at me, reminding me I want to put the bow on my first card. So let's get this back out. We can see that our best glue ever is completely dry. You see a little white here? That's just my tape. Otherwise, my glue looks nice. I'm going to pull these out just a little. And I'm going to stick that bow right here. I'm going to lean it up just a little against my frame to leave my saying clear and visible. And there we go. Isn't that pretty? And we got all that wonderful movement in there. Wouldn't that just cheer up somebody's day if they were hospitalized? Now see, my things are kind of gathering in one corner. Till it gets really kind of broken in, you sometimes have to shake those out of the corners. And then once it kind of gets used to moving in there, it doesn't stick so bad. But anyway, there we go. Beautiful. Love it. Okay. Now, I need a craft mat, Lauren. We're going to go off camera for just a second to get ready for our next project. Next, we are going to make this absolutely spectacular glitter over lace card. I totally love this. It is great, great fun to do. It's a whole lot like finger painting with glitter. I love it. It's messy, it's fun, and I think you'll really, really enjoy the technique, and it's something that you can use moving forward. You'll really like this one. So let me credit this. This idea originally came from Els at Elizabeth Craft Design. If she found it somewhere else, I'm not sure where that was, but the first time I saw it, it was from Els at Elizabeth Craft, so I want to make sure she gets some credit where credit's due there, because I captured the idea from her and I'm sharing it again. So here's our card. Let's talk about the supplies for this card, because it uses a little different materials than most of our cards. I am using, now you don't have to use a big old thick roll like this, but just so you know, I'm using a Couture Creations ribbon, tape, and this is a 5-inch wide roll, and this sells in our store for about $17.6. No, actually I don't think it is. It's like 16 something in our store, and then we have a 6-inch wide roll that we get from Die Cut and Bond that's $20. Lauren's shaking her head. No, it's somewhere between $16 and $20, guys. Now, that might sound like an awful lot, but if you compare this to the Elizabeth Craft Design and to some of the other brands out there, it's less than half of the price of theirs. You can do this same technique using just a full sheet of double-sided adhesive, but I wanted to let you know, once you get into this, you're going to really, really like it. And this is a very economical way of being able to do that once you get into this technique. So I'm using this. I'm using this You Do glitter. I've had this in store for years. This was originally devised as a glitter for use on fabrics, but this is spectacular for this purpose. It comes in these great big bottles, 2.3 ounce bottles, And we're using a lot of glitter for this technique. This is 7-something in our store, and fabulous, fabulous for this project. We're using this ultra fine, super high quality glitter that I've talked about before. We'll be using that. I have a little empty container here. I'm going to get some mixture between these two glitters, so you don't want to put them back in your regular vials. Have a little container available that you can either reuse those same colors again or just use it on something else. But don't corrupt your white by putting it back in the white with the little flakes of purple in it. I'm going to be using some shaker tape, which I'll show you why. I'm going to be using my glue bottle with my Cosmic Shimmer glue. I'm going to be using an A6 card. Here is a 6x12 piece of cardstock that we have prepared with my adhesive already applied to it. This is a nice size to do because by doing it, first of all, your ribbon that you're going to get from us, or your lace, if you get it from us, our lace is in 12-inch pieces, and you can actually get 2 card fronts from one application. So, speaking of lace, we have this lace available in the store. I'll link it in the newsletter. I'm using 4-inch wide lace. Mine is sparkly because it's been used before. You can use this over and over again, and when you're done, you can wash it and you can use it again. So if you want to do a different color, it's washable because it's actually sewer's lace. And I'm going to, by way of introducing these ribbons, this bow we put on here is just spectacular. Now you could use a satin bow, you could use an organza bow. I happen to have used one here called Ombre, and I wanted to show you our Ombre ribbons because I love these. These Ombre ribbons are ribbons that are organza style ribbons. They come in a pack of, I'm not sure how many
6
pieces, 6 pieces Lauren says. But they're ribbons that graduate from one color to the next. Here's a blue over pink. Here's a brown over white. Here's a green and yellow. Could you just imagine that for Easter on something? Oh, so cute. Here's an ivory and a brown. Here is a blue and purple. And here's the one we want to use today, which is lavender over pink. That's what we're going to use for our card. But I just wanted to show you these ribbons because they're new in the store and they're spectacular. I really, really like the effect of these ombre ribbons. So we're going to be using this one. Let's go ahead and get started. Oh, probably first and foremost importance is protect your work surface. Either have a nice big sheet of paper that you can collect your glitter on to pour it back in your containers, or a craft mat or something, because this is a messy project. Okay, let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to begin by getting my lace out here. I just put mine in a bag because I've used it for classes several times, and that piece is a little short. This one is nice and long, and you can see it's all glittery already. That's because I've used it several times. But when I'm done, I just stick it back in my bag. Okay, super duper important point here. When I expose my adhesive, I want to be especially careful about not getting fingerprints in my adhesive. I can't overstress this enough, because anywhere you get a fingerprint, the glitter's not going to stick right. So be super aware of your fingerprints. Now I'm going to just kind of center this piece of lace over my adhesive, and I'm going to use my sheet to rub that in. Again, I'm being super careful to handle. See, my paper is wider than my adhesive, so I can handle this by my outer edges. But I'm just being super, super careful not to touch the adhesive portions at all. I don't want to get any fingerprints in my glitter. I'm going to move my paper around as necessary to just really burnish that in. If you have a bone folder handy, a bone folder is a great tool for this job. I'm using the handle of my scissors, and I'm just rubbing my lace right into my glitter, or right into my adhesive. Rubbing it out there. Just really give it a good rub. You'll begin to see the outline of your lace in your paper. That means you're getting it down in there good. And once you've done that, peel your liner again. Just set that aside for now. And now the fun begins. I'm going to get this bottle of glitter out here. I'm going to loosen the cap, and I am going to pour a liberal amount of glitter right over that lace. I mean, I'm going to get with the program here. Look at all that glitter. And now I'm going to finger paint. Yes, you thought I was kidding when I said it's like finger painting with glitter. No, I'm not kidding. It is a marvelous experience to finger paint with glitter. It is messy. Holy cow, is it messy? But it is fun. And it's fun. As I rub, you're beginning to see the lace through. You see that? You're beginning to see the pattern of the lace. I'm going to really rub that in there. This process of rubbing that glitter into the adhesive is called burnishing. We're accomplishing two things by doing this. One is we're getting the glitter down into that lace, really rubbing it in. I wanted to make sure I had plenty of glitter on there because I don't want my fingers touching that adhesive, remember? And if the glitter is between me and the adhesive, then it's not going to get my fingerprints in the glitter. The second thing that I'm doing by burnishing is I'm laying all those little flakes of glitter down flat, and they're more sparkly when they're flat. They actually shine more. Now, I finished there, I tacked off, and we're going to actually gather some of this. Whoops, I just did it again, guys. I'm a mess with glitter, I'm telling you guys. I am a hopeless cause no matter how I try.
Can't you put that back in the regular bottle?
I could if I had the regular bottle open right in front of me. I just decided to put it here. Okay. I'm going to use my cleanup sheet to gather this glitter that I just spilled everywhere. And just because we're on camera, I'm not going to spend a lot of time with this. You can tell there's lots of static electricity here. Okay, I still have a lot on my mat, but not as much as I did have. Okay, I'm going to burnish it again. And I'm going to go through this process of burnishing and tapping off 3 different times. Burnish it, tap it, burnish it, tap it, burnish it, tap it. 3 times. Just rub it and rub it and rub it and rub it and rub it. As you rub it, you're going to see that lace more and more and more defined. Really get it on there, guys. Tap it off. Rub it again. Give me some baby wipes, babe, please. Rub it, rub it, rub it, rub it, rub it. This was my 3rd tapping off place. I'm going to set this aside for 1 second. I'm going to clean up my purple briefly, and I'll be right back to do the 2nd color.
Go.
Okay, you'll know that you're about done burnishing when you rub it and you tap it, and there's just not a lot coming off still. See that? There's very, very little that's coming off. By the way, while we were gone, we cleaned up our glitter using one of these Swiffer dusters. Oh my gosh, that's just perfect for glitter. Look at that. That just really does a good job picking it up. Now, I have finished doing that. And so next it's time to put on my second color. To do that, I'm just going to get a hold of my lace. I'm still going to be careful about getting my fingers in the adhesive as I work, because I'm exposing the adhesive again by taking this off. And there we go. I'm going to put this right back into my storage bag, because I can tell you one thing, I am definitely not done with this technique. I love doing this. It's great fun. It's messy. It's wonderful. I am a fanatic about it. I do think I'll cap this off so I don't manage to tip that over. I'm going to get my ultra fine glitter. And now, I don't have to go quite as heavy with this as I did with the first one, because I don't have as much territory to cover. If I find that it's sticky at all under me, I'm going to stop. I'm going to pour some more glitter on. But you can see that I'm actually getting a really nice coverage. And even though I've already put the purple down, because this is this just fabulous color and shine in this glitter, I'm going to add this ultra high quality glitter even over the purples I've already done. It's so fine you won't believe it. When you touch this glitter, it's like powder. And even though it's going over where I've already glittered, it's going to get right down in between those flakes, and it's going to give us a beautiful iridescence to our purple. By the way, I keep calling this purple because to me this is a lavender color. To the Udu people, they call this pink. So don't be confused or worried if you look for this on site and it says pink glitter. This is actually, this lavender color is what they call pink. So I'm rubbing it in. Now I'm going to shake it off. And look at, oh my gosh, that's pretty. I'm going to gather that. I don't like to waste any of this super high quality glitter. It's not terribly expensive. It's about the same price as a similar container of another brand. But I just love this. And when it's gone, it's gone. It came to me in an unlabeled bag. Give me that receipt over there, babe. It came to me in an unlabeled bag that I bought at a closeout, and I don't even know what brand it is, but it is really, really fabulous glitter. So I will mourn the day that it sells out, but in the meantime, I can offer you just a really spectacular glitter product with this. Now you can see that this white has picked up some little trace amounts. Oops, I need a container, Lauren. Oh, I have one. I'm going to use this one that I had for the pink before because it's fine. I picked up some little trace amounts of the pink or lavender color in there, but that's okay. I'll still use that, especially this time of year, preparing for Easter and spring cards. This would be beautiful on flowers and things. I'll put down some more of my white. I'm just not going to mix back into this white. I'm just putting another little layer here. I felt just a tad amount of stickiness. So I want to make sure I have that everywhere. The second coat probably wouldn't have been absolutely necessary, but I like to get the best results for you that I can when I'm doing a demo, so I'm putting a second coat on.
If they decide they want to make a second batch of this, can they use the white that was mixed with the purple instead of more white?
Yeah, absolutely. That's perfect, Lauren. This would be excellent to use as your white in the next go-round. Perfect, yes. And I'll tell you what, once you do this once, you're going to want to do it again, especially when you see how beautiful your card is. I'm going to clean up this glitter and then I'm going to come back and burnish it some more. Okay, I have rubbed it, tapped it off, rubbed it, tapped it off, and rubbed it and tapped it off. And now I'm pretty satisfied that my glitter paper is in pretty good shape. Now that I am tapping it, I'm getting almost no glitter off of there. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up my workspace, set this cardstock off to the side, clean up my hands, and then we'll go ahead and make our cards out of this. Okay, we've got our beautiful glitter treated cardstock ready to go. And this is 5 inches wide because that's how wide my tape was, which means that I can use this either on a 5x7 card or on 2 4x6s. Given the size of my topper, I think 4x6 is better. So in order to get this matched up with my card, I could fold my card and I could kind of manipulate it around and try and put it there. But the easiest way to do that is go ahead and trim it down so you can see where your card edges, where your paper edges are. So I'm going to trim this down so that I'm working just with the glittered portion, and that's going to make it a whole lot easier to face my cards. Man, that's a good paper cutter. You know it's a good paper cutter when you can get an edge like this on your cardstock. That's a good paper cutter. So I've got my 5-inch wide cardstock, and I'm going to go ahead. Again, I'm using a sector card just because it happens to be what I had here. White is perfect for this job because I'm going to cover it entirely. I'm going to go ahead and face this just like I would face any other card. But I am actually going to have to... Oh, I know what I did with this one. I was going to say, this paper would be fine, but I don't want to have to worry about all of the lining up and stuff to cut this to the odd size that these cards are. I'm going to go ahead and put this right on my card. I'm going to wrap this ribbon around, and then I'm going to use insert paper to cover where I'm bringing my ribbon around, and that way I don't have to worry about trying to measure off. It really gets spoiled. I don't want to have to worry about coming up with really specific measures for all of this. So again, I'm just going to make it easy on myself. This isn't really directional lace, but I do want to kind of get this centered without wasting any too much of my material, because I really love this paper that we've just created. I want to kind of center it in my pattern. You see I'm using reclaimed cardstock here. I was doing a demo in some of our new Cosmic Shimmer paints. And I'm going to go ahead and face my card off. And I should have just a little more than I need to do another card here. It's fun to have that result. It's a really messy project, but man, what fun that is. I love it, and I absolutely adore the results. I mean, look at that. Can you just imagine getting anything any prettier than that thing is? That's beautiful. Okay, we don't have much left to do because the cardstock really carries the day. We don't need to do all kinds of extra things to it. I'm going to take my topper, and in this case, I have actually I could make this topper this size if I wanted to, but I'm covering up a lot of my pretty glitter. And I really like the glitter to show. So I'm going to take this frame off, and I'm just going to use the topper on the inside for my card and let more of my glitter paper show. And then I'm certainly not going to dispose of that. I'm going to use this for something else. So I will warn you that easy tear tape does not hold particularly well on this glitter. It just kind of picks up the glitter and says, nope, not doing what you want. So I'm going to adhere this and my greeting using my shaker tape. And my extra secret weapon is that I'm actually going to put a little line of glue right on my shaker tape too, because the glue is going to get down in those little crevices between the glitter flakes, and it's really going to help hold that in place. So I'm going to put 3 pieces of shaker tape on here. Then I'm going to peel my tape, and like I said, I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to use 2 adhesives at once to make this glitter paper be nice to me. My little glue bottle out here. It doesn't take an awful lot, but I'm just going to put a little line out of my glue bottle just to get right down in there and hold this right where I want it. So I'm going to go here, right smack dab in the middle with my topper. I'm going to do the same thing with my, I'm going to use the Sending You Love and Special Wishes. Wouldn't this be a beautiful Mother's Day card? You don't get to use it for Mother's Day. You have to make me something else, but it would be a beautiful Mother's Day card. I might give it to my mom. That's kind of the conundrum on our holidays is, do they give me a card I've made or go to the store and buy a card when we have hundreds and hundreds of cards in our house? And it really matters more to me what they write in it than it does what the card itself says. You know, whether it's one of mine or whether it's a commercial card. So the trick is if they write me a nice mushy note, I'm going to think even one of my cards is a pretty terrific card from my family. After all, they're pretty. Okay, and next I'm going to tie my bow. Let's get that beautiful pink over purple. I don't think it really matters which side is which. I tied the last one with the pink on the top, and I really do like the way that looks. So now remember, we're wrapping around the card, so leave yourself a little tail, and you can use whatever ribbon suits you. I'm going to try tying this with 4s and 5s. Let's see what I think of that. I like the idea of having kind of a petite bow on such a sparkly card. So I'm going to tie this with 4s and 5s, and we'll see if it's big enough. I don't really candidly remember what I used last time, so we'll see if this is large enough or if I need to go bigger. Nice thing about tying your own bows is that you can fix it if you aren't satisfied. Another nice thing about this ribbon is that it's organza, so you don't have to worry about which side's up. Now I like that a lot. I think that's actually quite pretty. It's delicate, it's beautiful. Look at that. I don't need to do any tape on the back of it, that or anything to hold it, because it's just this nice, really pretty, fluffy little bow. And this time, I'm going to just, we already said that the tape, I guess I did tape it on here though. The tape doesn't hold especially well on this glitter, but if I catch the edge of my topper, which is what I see I did last time, if I catch the edge of my topper, it will help to hold my bow in place a little bit. So I am going to go ahead and put some easy tear on here. Now, as you can see on this one, I positioned it more towards the right. So I'm going to put a shorter piece here. I'll put a longer piece on the other side. So we can wrap that around the back and fasten it. As we said before, that easy tear tape doesn't always want to adhere well to the fabric when we're trying to peel the tape layers off, but there we go. You can always tear it in the middle and go both directions like you can other times if it's being pesky and doesn't want to peel nicely for you. It's a simple process to tear it in the middle and peel it back. I love this easy tear tape. It's such a nice, it's a good adhesive on it. It's very, very cost effective, super easy to use, no waste. I really love it. Okay, I'm going to tap just the bottom of my, I'll straighten it up a little bit when I get done, reposition my bow a little bit, but tap just the bottom of that. Wrap around here. And this was a 1 yard piece of my ombre, and clearly there's enough for 2 bows out of that. 2 bows of this size. So I could easily do 2 cards like this out of one 1 yard piece. You get 1 yard each of all those colors. I was really tickled when I found that ribbon because I hadn't seen it for sale in packages anywhere else. You can buy a bolt of it for $25, $30, but you can't find just reasonable sized little pieces that give you a variety pack, and I was pleased to find that. There we go, that's beautiful. Now we've got these tails on the inside to contend with. I've got 2 liner sheets left. I think this one would work really nicely here. So I'm going to, now remember when I said that the A6 card is 1/4 sheet of A4? That means this is already going to be perfectly sized for my insert. I just have to cut it down to be the right length. So I'm going to cut this to my 5 7/8. I'm going to fold this insert paper in half. Let's see how it's going to fit. Might have just a little bit of trimming to do, tiny bit, not much. I'm going to go ahead and trim it before I put it in. Trim just a 1/16 or 1/8 of an inch off there. Trim just a tad the opposite direction so I'm not having to cut down. Let's try that again. I'm liking the way that's fitting. There we go. Perfect. I'll tape this in place and our card will be finished. And we will have had our tails under our insert paper. Now, wasn't it a happy accident that they gave us extra insert paper for the February kit, because we have 2 cards that we're lining completely, and you wouldn't usually have, when we're making more cards than Hunkydory anticipates that we'd make, we wouldn't usually have enough insert paper to do that. So it was kind of them to err in a way that we could use that. If you do buy that, please don't make a claim. I'm telling you right now, there's a little error in that insert pack, so please don't ask me to send you the missing insert. There aren't any. Every pack was that way, so be forewarned is forearmed, but it is, if you're making these style cards, it's perfect. So we don't mind that there was a little boo-boo in there. Okay, I'm gonna put my tape down on this side, and we will wrap up here. I want to show you what we have left over too, because we still have some really nice pieces left to work with that we can mix with other things in our Hunkydory collection, or maybe if you're into doing 3D decoupage, you could use some of these pieces in your decoupage work. I want to show you what we've got left. Here's our finished card first. Isn't that beautiful? Boy, I love that. We still have one full glitter sheet left, so we have enough to make a card there. We've got this really pretty frame we had left over. So we've got that frame. We've got a half a sheet of insert paper. We've got a couple little tags and a border. We have this whole piece left. And we have this whole piece left. So I could see doing a 3D punch-out sheet, you know, getting one sheet of punch-outs and making easily 3 more cards out of this with just out of toppers. So there we go. And as we said before, if you were inclined to do so, you certainly could have gotten a 4th card out of this topper that we put inside. I put it there just because I liked it and I thought it made this shaker card extra special, but you could easily get 4 cards. So let's wrap up. Okay, let's quickly recap what we've learned today. We've made a beautiful shaker card using cup sequins and 3mm shaker tape. We wrapped our ribbon around the card to get that extra special accent, and just for fun we used an extra topper on the inside. We also, this is the first video that we've done where we were using a full-size insert on the inside of our card. In this case we were using it to hide the ribbon, so we've done that. We made a wraparound ribbon card on an A6 using the little February birthday, and we lined that, and then we made this super fun, fabulous glitter paper. I tell you guys, this is just the most fun you can have and be legal, really. I love finger painting in the glitter. That is just great fun. And stunning, just beautiful results. So I hope you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. That would be hard, but I think you'll enjoy it as much as I do if you get into the goodies. And remember that these Swiffer floor duster pads make absolutely magnificent glitter pickup rags. They just really do a fine job, better than any of the tack cloths or anything that I've ever run into. So we've also learned that. We've just had loads of fun, and you're going away with really nice supply of materials to make more cards. So I hope you've had fun today. If you've had fun, please give us a thumbs up. I'd love to know that you're enjoying our videos. If you haven't already done so, sign up for a newsletter and I will send you links to where you can buy these products. And if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel so that you never miss an episode. I'm Debbie from Simply Special Crafts, and we'll see you next time.